Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another cast here from twitch.tv/Nathanias, also on youtube.com/Nathanias. We have a Terran vs. Protoss here from the same ESL Pro Tour. I believe it's the Korea one. In the top left, we have the blue Terran player. He is Dream. And we're playing here on Nightshade. He faces off against the the pink Protoss player. In the bottom right, he is Zest. So we got the gate up top. I mean, there's a bunch of standard issue BS you got to deal with when you play a Protoss, right? Every single map, you just put like 2 or 3 buildings up, completely block Reapers from being able to enter your base. Makes life way easier, grossly limit Terran scouting. And then when you play Terran, you kind of just scramble around like a chicken with your head cut off, and you hope that your opponent makes enough mistakes for you to be able to win the game. It's a hard time for Terrans around the world these days. But let's see what Dream has got. I've been trying to do some of the builds I saw TY doing in GSL. It didn't work, but have been fun to watch. Actually, no. I got some builds. Well, TY played against Zaun in a show match recently, and he was doing a Drilling Claw Widow Mine drop, which I really liked. Ooh, Zest! Zest, you cheeky slut. Look at this. Cybernetics Core before Nexus. So he might be thinking about chrono boosting an Adept and just launching it across the map to deny this command center, which is very possible. It would be pretty close timing-wise, but could do it. He could do it. He could. Yeah, look at that. If you're a Dream and you see that, you're like, oh, crap. That Cybercore is really fast. I mean, if you don't start a Marine in a bunker 5 seconds ago, yeah, no. The Adept's 100% going to get across the map before that's possible. I don't think you're going to be able to finish a bunker that quick. If the Adept goes straight across. It's possible that it sticks around to try and stall the Reaper, but you don't really want to do that in this situation if you went Cybercore first. You'd rather phase past, I think. But he would be okay with just delaying the Reaper. He's not going to take a chance there. Now he's going to go out. That actually should buy enough time for the command center to finish. We'll see. You'd be surprised how easily you can ruin a Terran player's day with these Adept openings. You see the amount of time that Reaper bought, by the way? This command center will barely finish as the Adept arrives. But the reason why you would go Cybercore before Nexus is A, you think you're being cheesed, which is fair. A lot of Terran players cheese versus Protoss these days because you don't want to play macro. Or if you want to be aggressive yourself, which can be that fast Adept. If that Adept had just gone straight across the map in that singular moment, like I was talking about, you would have seen the SCV building the command center die, and then the Stalker could come in behind it and help solidify that. It just makes life really tough for Terran because you don't really have anything that can fight against the gateway units early on. Well, until really you have Stim and Medivacs, and by that point, Protoss usually has Blink, or if they're going for something like a Speed Prism opening, they'll usually have that by that point in time. But for Dream, it's going to be your basic mine drop. Nothing interesting to see here. The single Hellion has become a popular follow-up, so doing 2 mine drops instead of 3. Why? Because usually these don't do anything unless one mine gets a big hit. So if the Protoss doesn't react, it doesn't really matter how many mines you send. You can get a big shot even if you only drop 1 Widow Mine. So Hellion is at home. It gives you just a little bit of that poke and prod. But the Marines, summarily useless until we get those extra upgrades. The extra 2 barracks are coming in. Here is the Medivac with the Widow Mines. There's a lot of Stalkers. And yeah, these are all mostly just suicide missions. 1 mine does nothing. This mine kills a single probe and then dies. So all in all, pretty terrible opening here from Dream. He gets nothing done at all. And now Zest has Blink. So he's ready to just go across the map and try to be annoying. He does elevator this Hellion, and that's annoying. But thankfully, Warp Gate exists. He just warps in a couple Stalkers and deals with that pretty easily. This Medivac is on the way out. But this is a scary time right now to be a Terran. He's got Stim and Combat Shield started, but he only has 10 Marines And a hallucinated Phoenix is going to allow these stalkers to blink straight in the main base. And yeah, he's just isn't he? He's just going to kill everything with blink stalkers. We'll see. The Marauder helps, kind of, but he can't heal his units. Can't heal any of these bio units. Yeah, just poke, prod, kill, deal damage, and then blink out. That's a very solid opening. And he does have the sentry here with enough energy for a force field, so he could actually cut the main base off. Yeah, there's nothing here at all. The hard life of a Terran player, ladies and gentlemen. These SCVs are going to repair this empty bunker, but now you just, I guess, ooh, I like that actually. That's a dangerous move to make with a 3 hit point medevac, but he's going to secure the natural. 5 SCVs dropped though. 7 gateways being added and charged, which says to me that we're going to see a massive Protoss assault very soon because he's got that third base saturated. 41 SCVs to 53 probes income, greatly favoring the Protoss player. Not a fun spot to be in at all. And Zest, with the Observer, of course, can always come back in and poke some more. Dream loads up a medevac. Zest saw it. Stalkers are going to try and catch it. Oh, man. If the Terran player was Avalo, this is when he says, "You're stream cheating." Get him. You're there. You're there. Playing Terran feels... You feel so claustrophobic the entire game. For that. Because of that shit. No, he just taps out. Okay. Well, let's go to game 2. Oh, man. I'm like, yeah, let's see how the Koreans do it. Do they, though? How do the Koreans do it? Clap City. Clap City. All right. Oh, nope. Dream, you have 0 points. There we go. All right. In the bottom left, Blue Terran, he's Dream. Top right, Red Protoss, he's Zest. Does Maru lose like that too? Maru won his match by doing 2 base Marine Tank SCV all-ins. Maru just did Marine Tank SCV all-ins to win his last Terran vs Protoss series. It was not really, it really wasn't that good. To say the least. It was very much so a meh. A meh. It was like meh, and then You kind of sound like a Banjo-Kazooie character talking. You see Maru's gameplay and you're just like, you know, like that's basically what a Maru game is like. Oh, let's see. Maybe Zest will get a 2-0 win. Maybe we'll get a 1-1 tie-up. You never know. You never know. Yeah. And if Maru was an old witch, he'd sound more like... Sometimes I wish we lived in a Banjo-Kazooie world where everybody spoke like that and we only just looked at each other and made gestures and we're like... Don't forget Proxy Hellion drop. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Terran vs Protoss these days 100% just relies on, like, literally the entire matchup of Terran vs Protoss is deal a shit ton of probe damage at the start of the game or you die. And you can call me biased for saying that. I don't really care because it's the truth. So we'll see if Dream can get any worker damage done at the start. Very difficult to accomplish anything outside of those minor Hellion drops. The Hellion drops can be very good though, so we'll see. We'll see what direction Zest wants to go in, because this feels similar to the last game, but I do not think on Eternal Empire he could possibly get the Adept there in time. Like, maybe, but we'll see. The Reaper's looking for a proxy, so the Adept will not run into the Reaper. The Adept will not run into the Reaper, so he could just send it straight across. I think Eternal Empire is a little too big for that. Yeah, he cancels the Shade. He's going to keep it at home. He's thinking more about the... He's thinking way more about the possibility of the Reaper getting into his base than he is trying to deal any damage. So we've got... There it is, the Starport. Hellion after the Reactor Marines. No bunker is curious. I think opening Terran vs Protoss without a bunker is borderline suicide. See how close this Adept still is? So close. That Reaper has to delay the Adept just a smidge. Oh, loading into the command center. But you know what? It actually hurts the Terran player to do that because it delays the orbital transform. No, you don't get to score points anywhere when you play this race. SCV dies. Blink is on the way. Blink is coming in. We're in the middle of a cast, but I will say thank you for the raid, PC Patty. Her name is PC Patty because I don't think she does her stream without being on PCP. Isn't that wild? There's a streamer on Twitch that's just on PCP the entire time. I don't know how it's legal, but man, 2020, wild year. Wild year, ladies and gentlemen. We got the second Widow Mine done. There you go. Let's see it. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Terran player is currently down 10 workers. 10 workers. We've got a 10 worker income difference. Let's see if this Widow Mine can blow up 7 or so probes. You need to kill at least 7 probes. We'll see. Are you going to get 7 probes when Blink's almost done? I'll press X for doubt, but anything is possible. He's trying to spread out everything. Zest really wants to know where this is coming from. Oh, he's going to put the one mine up front. He's going to try and walk it in and then run the Hellion by. There's the Widow Mine. Is the Hellion going to get anything? Nope. How about this mine? A single probe kill. Oh, he got a Stalker with that one. So he killed a probe and a Stalker. That's not very good. This Widow Mine is... Well, hey, these probes are all derping. So that's a loss of income right there. All right, so Medevac's going to go home. Stim is on the way. +1 is on the way. But tell me why. Tell me why Phoenix Blink won't kill him again. Tell me how he's gonna leave his base, my friend. Tell me how this Terran won't get poked to death. Demonetized. Ripping Alfredo. Don't blink straight in. Don't blink straight in. Poke. Poke from the bottom. Poke from the bottom. There you go. Grab yourself a few Marines. The defensive setup here is better this time around. The map helps. You get a little bit less room to jump straight in. There's a few less angles than Nightshade, which does make it a lot easier. Zest comfortably 15 workers ahead, moving into Immortals. And I do wonder, he took the gas on the 3rd pretty early. Started charge. Is he just going to go back up to 10 gateways again? This seems like the way to do it. Is he going to go for it? Will je naar buiten? Wil je naar buiten? That's a big bio push right here. +1 attack is almost done. And, you know, Zest did not actually get any upgrades. He's going to drop 2 shield batteries at his 3rd. This could be big, right? Maybe. How many Immortals are there? 1? Second one's almost done with charge. Oh, Stalker knows. Zest knows 100%. He sees everything. He's got the watchtower. He's got the in control watchtower over here. Well, I think 2 Immortals with a 3rd on the way and 2 shield batteries with Guardian Shield should be enough. I am a little concerned at the thought of building more Stalkers, but I guess he doesn't want to build Zealots until he has charge. I think this might be too many Stalkers, though, because Bio can do it. I guess the issue on this map is you have such a small choke point. Even if you break these rocks, you still don't really have a lot of wiggle room. And now another Immortal is done. Let's see it. Dream's going to try and poke. He stims. He runs up forward. Careful of the force fields. There's a few. Going to push these Marines into the range of the rest of these units. Now, charge isn't done. So, yeah, those Zealots don't really do anything. Now it's done. As the first wave of Zealots die, which is unfortunate. Still plenty of force field energy left, though. You do not want to run into... you do not want to run into this army up a ramp. With the 4th Immortal, too. It's a lot of firepower. Those Immortals can one-shot every single unit that they target in this situation. Makes it very difficult to push up into him. I will say, pushing a 3-base Protoss, you're not almost ever going to be able to kill them per se, but I would proffer. Oh, that nice. He's going to grab both pylons. I would proffer that in this scenario, keeping the Protoss off of the 4th is actually very valuable. Your biggest concern right now is getting counterattacked and having your 3rd base killed, because the 3rd has only just started rolling for Dream. He's just got it into an orbital. So it's going to take him some time to pay off his 550 mineral investment for the orbital command. I guess if you count the worker building time, it's actually like 600 minerals for an orbital. Zergs count drones, so yeah. So after that 600 mineral base, it's going to take like 3 mules to pay that off, and then he'll be feeling himself off the extra economy from that. This army's not bad. He's getting his 2-2, which is, I really like to see that. Usually Protoss ends up super far ahead in upgrades just because, you know, chrono boost. But he actually got his upgrades so early and at such a good timing that Dream is not going to fall behind in the upgrade game. The +1 is only just about to finish for Zest, and he could chrono to get his +2 out faster, but it's not like he'll have like a window where he's ahead on upgrades. That will not exist in this game for Zest, which is really nice for Dream. Upgrades are so important when you're playing Bio Terran against Protoss. So important. The Zest, he's got his observer there to get the info. Setting up them siege observers. They can see so much of the map. Spreading out even the random zealots. You love to see it. You love to see it. Zest is just giving himself access to information. And that zealot in the bottom right dies. And he's like, oh, is he going to drop me? Is he thinking about sending units this way? Well, there's a cannon and a shield battery and High Templar. Storm is on the way. So everything is kind of in place for Zest to be able to handle this. Now, big questions. We've got EMP upgrade being researched. The enhanced shockwaves. And we actually already have a bunch of ghosts out for Dream. He's got 3 ghosts, which is enough. With the upgrade, they're going to be incredible. I think if you can get to like that 5 or 6 ghost mark, that's like that's, you know, rich white man ghost levels. But 3 ghosts with the upgrade is plenty for EMPing this. He's going to run into the ramp, baiting these zealots forward into him. You don't mind fighting the zealots as long as you're not getting poked by the rest of the army at the same time. And as he postures on this ramp, look at this. He knows. Zest is so smart. Massive warp in to try and come defend this 4th base. And I do think he'll defend it easily. Widow Mines get some good shots off, but the rest of the bio is not enough to clean up. And you can't push up a ramp into a choke point against High Templar. It doesn't, you know, here's what I'll say.
It didn't work, my friend.
Now I'd like to clarify. He didn't actually try. So we can't say that it didn't work. But I think if I could edit that live, I would say it wouldn't work. You know? Thank you, Daddy, for the 669.
Vintage is a used mop.
Vintage is a used mop. There you go. Now, if you didn't know, now you know. So we're getting the ship up weapons. I always feel like the ship weapons is so important for Terran versus Protoss, because if you get +2, Liberators 2-shot everything. There's the EMP on the High Templar after they use Storm, so that's not going to help a whole lot. Big EMPs on the army here, though. Dream, I think, getting a pretty solid engagement in this fight. The hallucinated Colossi are not really adding a whole lot to this. You're baiting a little bit of time. You're baiting a little bit of energy, but I think with all the ground units dead, there are still a few ghosts. I think he's got an EMP if he wants. Yep, neutralizes those 2 High Templar. The Zealots charging in, though, to try and upset the balance of this engagement. But I was talking about this earlier. Dream on even upgrades with a Protoss, Terran is going to be able to perform. It's very hard. It's very hard to get into such a good upgrade situation in Terran versus Protoss, but if you are able to do so, the matchup gets a whole lot easier, and he's able to take some really good trades here. This has not been bad. This hasn't been bad at all. He's running 1 ghost forward. He's like, okay, I'll just take the EMP on the Stalkers. No big deal. And he's trying to push up this ramp. He's going to land the Vikings. Landed Vikings do a lot of damage to Stalkers, so I don't hate that at all. Here's another big attack now. He's going to try and push him off. These Templar do not have enough energy for Storm, but he's going to land the EMPs across the majority of the army. These Archons fizzling out. The Observer actually exposed through this scan, and it's just a bunch of very low hit point Stalkers up against, well, being complemented by a handful of charged Zealots, and there's just too much here. The Ghost chipping in as well. Dream is going to tie this series up. 1-1. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's go straight into game 3. That was a good game. Start your own first watch party on Twitch today. You are one of the streamers we've picked to test watch parties. Wow. Wow. How about no? Oh my god. They changed colors, didn't they? Why? Zest wasn't pink last game, was he? Zest wasn't pink last game, was he? Was he pink last game? I can't remember. Anyway, he's Zest. He's Dream. Yeah, Eternal Empire is probably the best map for Terran versus Protoss in the current pool. I think the biggest problem with TvP right now, the biggest struggle, is taking your third base versus Protoss. And one of the things I really liked about the last game, really good pressure by Dream. And he was able to get that third up without too much trouble. It's the safest third, I think, in the entire map pool. There's that one map that's like Scrap Station, but even that map, like, it's still very open, although it's so far. But yeah. Still sipping that mango margarita, sorry. It's good. It's real good. Also, casual reminder, Friday night is date night. This week's date night stream, Katie and I will be playing the new Resident Evil Resistance multiplayer mode. They are starting a beta for it on Friday, prior to the launch of Resident Evil 3. Project Resistance comes with Resident Evil 3, but they're doing a free open beta prior. So I'm like, oh yeah, we should just, let's get another giant, what's it called? A growler? I never knew what a growler was until I dated craft beer girl, Katie. But it's like almost a gallon of booze, basically. Basically just a gallon of margarita, which is fantastic. I'm excited about that. That's going to be Friday. We're going to have some fun. Dress up. I'm going to try to look pretty for you so that you'll help me pay my rent. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So that's a Stargate opener this time from Zest, but proxied. Now, he hasn't really shown Stargate. He hasn't shown Stargate in this series so far. Dream is going to run that Reaper in, and he's going to see nothing. Even if he does commit, like run all the way into the back behind the mineral line, he won't see anything. So it's very, very risky. He wants to get a probe. He wants the probe. He did. He got the probe. Congratulations. Good job, Dream. If you can kill probes early on in this matchup, that's like legit the greatest feeling. It's so hard to keep up with Protoss economically in this matchup that any worker kills this early are pretty massive. They're pretty massive. Yeah, look at that. He hit the skill check. StarCraft also reminds me of a similar game to Resident Evil Resistance in that Dead by Daylight, where you have skill checks. Of course, you lose progress if you miss a skill check in that game. And if you miss the mule skill check, 20 minerals disappear from your base forever. Isn't that fantastic? So here we go. Is it just going to be 2 mines again? It's just called two mines. Yeah, it's just it's 2 mines. All right, so the second mine is out. He's going for a third one, but neither of them are in position to cover the main base mineral line from the Oracle, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Zest is not going to make a second Oracle. He's just got 2 adepts in the natural. There's the Twilight. I assume we're going to have a robotics facility somewhat soon. So I think he's waiting for the timing. I think he knows that about 350 is when the medevac would load up the mines. So you wait for the 4-minute mark to move the Oracle in, because it guarantees that a standard mine drop is already out on the map. It's funny because this build actually doing a move like this relies on your opponent being good at the game. Isn't that funny to think about? Like, if your opponent was bad and forgot to lift up their mines at the right time and delayed their drop by like a few seconds on accident, like, you could easily lose your Oracle for nothing. Dude, these mine drops do not do anything. He lost 3 SCVs to the Oracle. His mine drops have not done in any of these series, and he's down a crap ton of workers. It does build a Viking. I like the Viking opening. It's funny to think about how there was a time when oracles were light units. Yeah. If you like forgot to lift up your Widow Mines at 350 and move them into the medevac, you could kill the oracle. And I love that. I love that. So we got the stalkers. Blink is coming in. The forge is on the way. Blink is almost done. Surprised we don't have a quick second forge, but I think he's trying to be a little bit less greedy considering the oracle opening. Yeah, that mine, if that one mine had burrowed on the ramp itself, like close to the ramp to try and catch the probes running away, that's the real cash money move. That is the real cash money move. But Stim is on the way, combat shield, and nothing can really happen in this game for Dream until those upgrades are done. But this is always what scares me. You have all these maps with these massive ramps and no real way to defend both bases. But like this army from Zest is just like he will. I think if he blinks everything up here, he can just kill Dream. The Viking's dead. Stim's going to get denied. He's just going to kill everything. And then there's the depths in the natural. Yeah. No, it's this shit right here that makes me hate playing Terran versus Protoss, because you basically give up all of your ability to defend against this type of blink attack in order to try and do the mine drop. But a lot of work getting done here by Zest. He still has the potential threat of the stalkers. I'm surprised the oracle didn't seem to be as much of a part of that, but he's going to try and focus this bunker down. He wants the Marauder. The Marauder is really the only thing that does a lot of damage to the stalkers. Bad blink there, actually. He's going to use the oracle to revelate. I was expecting him to try and fight with the oracle. He could have killed Stim in that first push. He could have denied it very easily, but a big mistake there, I think, by Zest, because Dream actually has a good amount of production. He's been very good at building units. Like, his unit count is solid. And we were talking about this earlier, but it's only been a single forge opening from Zest. So, yes, his +1 armor will be done, and charge is done. But the upgrades are even, which is always good for Terran. Always good for Terran. I really wish Zest had just stuck on the right click on the Stim. I think Zest could have killed Stim pretty easily. He's going to kill the Stargate. Not the end of the world. He's going to kill a pylon. That sucks. The revelation has been so good by Zest, though. The ability to keep track of the Terran army with that spell is just... it's so important. He's got 2 adepts that are going to shade into the natural while this attack gets underway. I am a bit scared, though. I think pushing up ramps here is always horrifying. We have some Templar out. Storm has not even started researching yet. Good pickup to save those units from being blasted by the mines. So he's going to make Archons. You need to be careful, though. Some of these medevacs actually have a lot of energy, so he can take a prolonged fight. But I think there might be too many Marauders. There's a lot of Zealots charging forward onto this. Needs the mines to clear most of those out. Once the Zealots are gone, this army becomes pretty squishy. There's a lot of Stalkers in it, and the Marauders are good against those, but the other problem is in the open field, these Stalkers are going to poke, and then, yeah, just jump straight back. And with the cooldown of Blink and their movement speed, it's quite hard to chase Stalkers. You can't really chase Stalkers with any unit for Terran. Looks like there was a pause for a moment there. Fun fact about StarCraft, the game keeps going. But Zealots, man. Zealots give me nightmares. They are strong, they are fun to use, and they kill stuff. He's got that. He's got that Ladanian Tomlinson leg upgrade. Or Devin Hester, whichever you like. Sorry, I'm sneezing. Using that mute button to save you guys, or the cough button. Using the cough button to save you guys. The professional term is cough button. So that one Stray Marine actually did alert him to the Zealot run by that was coming his way. Knowledge is power. Knowledge. I think the reason why I got so obsessed with that TY Drilling Claw opening is if you open up with a Drilling Claw Widowmine Rush, like even to drop them or whatever for Terran versus Protoss, you have the follow-up option of getting the really quick ship weapon upgrades, which I think is really important because it's fantastic for like Liberators to be able to two-shot stuff. But I talk about that way too much. As these stalkers come forward, kill the mine, doesn't get anything done. Revelation's really good, and it costs health and subsequently energy of your medevacs to try and chase those stalkers. So he's just going to come up and tag him again. This is why this shit frustrates me to no end. Zealot's going to deny that base. He's taking another base in the northeast corner. Stalkers are on the field. He's got some Zealots over here. He's got the Prism on the south side with 4 Templar in it. So might be looking for some storm drops. Mr. Zest. He does get his Stalkers EMP'd. Do we have the EMP upgrade? Yes, we do. So big EMPs hitting everything here. Is it going to be enough, though, with the Warp Prism holding the Templars? Oh, those storms. Jesus. Raining down upon the enemy. The Zealots coming in from behind. Dream's army is rapidly collapsing. As long as the Zealots are alive to tank for everything else, this army is very hard to stop. He does still have the Prism here to reinforce. The Ghosts are trying with those EMPs. You don't want to throw too much here. That's the thing, is if you don't go for Robotech, if you don't have Robotech, you don't actually need to build Marauders. You could just go like pure Ghost Marine. Like basically use as much of your tech labs to build Ghosts as possible and then just crank out Marines behind them. And that works up until Colossi or Disruptors come out on the field, because those units are going to be, the Marauder has more range, right? And does more burst damage. So they're a little bit better for sniping those juicy units outside of the obvious splitting concerns. So it's an Archon drop. So this tells me that he wants to drop the Archons and then warp in Zealots under them. And that those Archons are basically going to make it so that you can't just send a small force to deal with it. Which is terrifying to think about, because he's going to go for the south base. He's going to deny the 4th of Dream. Again, he's going to deny that 4th base one more time. And here comes the Prism. The Vikings are on their way to try and stop this, but this is where it can get awkward, right? Because you've got the Archons, and they could actually try to push the Vikings away. He's trying, he's close. He gets one of them. You might as well. Ooh, okay. Great Viking control from Dream, because if that Prism warps in 10 Zealots right here, you're dead. Because the Zealots were already there. He denied that base. He got a lot of damage done. But having 10 Zealots in your main at that exact same time, well, possibly 13 Zealots, that's just not very fun. You don't want to deal with that. This Observer sees everything. Oh, he knows. He knows where that army is. He's trying to catch him here. This is awkward for Zest. He's going to get pinched outside of his own base. This is a pretty good opportunity for Dream. All things said and done. This is a good opportunity for the... for our Terran boy. Oh, he's worried about getting sandwiched himself. That's fair. That's a fair concern to have. I don't think he still doesn't really realize that there's a giant army underneath him. I think Zest was waiting for Dream to try and siege up, but Dream has just been stuck in like not so good of a place for a while. He hasn't been able to get that 4th, and it looks like we could have the engagement begin now. There's the storms dropping out of the Prism all over the army. Widowmines dragging friendly fire into the bio, and it looks like Dream's dreams are just memes. Ladies and gents, pushing up on to the Terran player is Zest. Those Zealots ripping and tearing like they are a coked out Twitch streamer playing Doom Eternal on March 20th. Everything here is super dead. GG, well played. Zest takes the series.